In the lush, verdant valleys of DinoVille, where the rivers sparkled under the warm sun, a young Stegosaurus named Stanley spent his days frolicking and playfully stomping his heavy feet, creating rhythmic beats that echoed through the ancient forests. Stanley had a secret dream: to dance in the Grand Dino Dance Challenge, an event where dinosaurs from all over gathered to shake their scales and show their best moves. But there was one small problem. Stanley was notoriously clumsy. Every time he tried to practice his steps, he would trip over his own tail, tumble into bushes, or accidentally knock over the carefully arranged rock piles his friends made. Yet, despite the mishaps, his spirit never wavered. One day, as Stanley practiced near the glistening river, a mischievous pterodactyl named Patty swooped down, giggling at the spectacle. "Stanley, you've got the heart of a dancer, but you dance like a boulder rolling downhill," she teased. Unbeknownst to Patty, her words sparked a twinkle in Stanley's eyes. "Then it's settled," he declared with newfound determination. "I'll enter the Dino Dance Challenge, and I'll need the best coach. Will you help me, Patty?" Patty, with a playful roll of her eyes, agreed to Stanley's plea, knowing the joy it brought him. "All right, Stanley, we'll need to start with the basics, finding your balance," she instructed as they approached a flat, open meadow. They began with simple steps, Patty flying above Stanley, guiding him through the motions. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, she counted, as Stanley attempted to synchronize his hefty legs with the rhythm. Progress was slow, and Stanley often found himself tangled in a dance of his own making, but Patty's patient guidance proved invaluable. With each passing day, his steps became more assured, his tumbles less frequent. The meadow where they practiced became a stage, and the critters of the forest, curious about the commotion, became their audience. Birds chirped harmonies while the rustling leaves kept time, all nature seemingly rooting for Stanley. It was during these practice sessions that Stanley discovered the joy of dance was not in perfection, but in the expression of one's own unique beat. His confidence swelled like a melody, and his heart danced to the promise of what was to come. As the Dino Dance Challenge neared, the atmosphere in DinoVille buzzed with excitement. Colorful banners were strung between the trees, and the ground vibrated with the beat of prehistoric drums. Stanley, now more nimble on his feet, felt a flutter of nerves. The meadow had been a sanctuary, but the real test was the dance floor, where the eyes of countless dinosaurs would be upon him. Patty sensed his apprehension and swooped in with encouragement. "Remember, Stanley, it's not just about the steps. It's the passion, the fire in your heart that counts. Let that be what moves you," she advised, her voice as soothing as the gentle breeze. The night before the competition, Stanley couldn't sleep. He lay under the stars, his mind racing with dance steps and possibilities. In the quiet of the night, he made a promise to himself to dance with all the vigor and zest he possessed. Morning dawned bright and clear, the sun casting a golden hue over DinoVille. Stanley rose, his spirit alight with the fire Patty spoke of. Today, he wouldn't just dance, he would let his heart lead and his feet follow. The day of the Dino Dance Challenge arrived, and DinoVille's grand arena was alive with anticipation. Spectators filled the stands, creating a mosaic of colors with their scales and feathers. Amid the roar of the crowd, Stanley took his place on the dance floor, feeling the thrum of the earth beneath his feet. Patty was right. It was time to let his passion lead the way. The music started, a pulsating rhythm that resonated with Stanley's own heartbeat. With a deep breath, he launched into his routine, each step a bold declaration of his journey. The crowd was in awe as Stanley moved with a grace they never knew a Stegosaurus could possess. With each twist and turn, he was not just dancing, he was telling his story. As the music crescendoed, so did Stanley's performance, culminating in a spectacular spin that ended with a triumphant stomp. The arena erupted in cheers, and for a moment, Stanley felt like he was flying without wings. As the applause thundered around him, Stanley basked in the glory of his performance. Dinosaurs of all kinds stomped their feet, an ovation worthy of the history books of DinoVille. The judges, a wise group of the oldest dinosaurs, conferred among themselves, nodding and whispering. The tension was palpable as Stanley awaited their decision, his breath caught in his throat. Then, the head judge, an ancient triceratops with a voice as deep as the Earth's layers, announced, "For showing us the heart of dance, the winner is Stanley the Stegosaurus." The arena burst into another round of roars and cheers. Stanley had done it. His name would be etched in the Dino Dance Hall of Fame, not just for his moves, but for the spirit he embodied. As the sun set on this remarkable day, Stanley found Patty and enveloped her in a grateful hug. "We did it, Patty. It was the fire in our hearts, after all." Together, they watched the stars appear, dreaming of the many dances still to come.